Dylan just do $2 just for love. Appreciate
What's up,
you, Dylan.
Dylan?
He actually did come down here and he said, "Hey, did you see the episode where Sean Bradley was on Chris and the Fat Man?"
Oh shit!
He started crying and wanted to end the beef.
Oh no, not again.
Is this something recent? So listen. let me. You guys know, and we won't get. We're not going to get into a lot. You guys. It's the thing that I like about you guys is you guys are kind of Switzerland. You
neutrals?
get along with everybody.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the thing I love about you guys really is that you get along with everyone, but you always have my back.
Absolutely.
So this is the difference. Like there are some people, some friends of mine that get along with everyone, but they don't have my back. And there's a big difference between those two things. So Sean Bradley, for a long, long time, said that I was his mentor. Like, like I wouldn't have been successful if it wasn't for Brian Barczyk. And then he kind of went off the deep end and went on this like 2-year thing to smear my name. Like really vitriolic, nasty stuff. And then he came back and said, I did it all just for the attention. I did it all for the attention, and then like a month later, went back to bashing me again.
Yep.
And then he kind of got out of the business. So I don't even know why he was on. I don't. Does he keep snakes anymore, or does he have anything?
So from what I understand, that he was like, "Oh, I'm selling everything," but then I hear like little leaks. People are like, "Well, I think he still has a few of his pet stuff that he wants to like hang on to and get rid of," but I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a
shame. It's a shame because I've known Sean since he was like 15 years old, and we're always good friends. But it was like weird. Like I'll tell you a quick story. So he got some old guy, I don't know who he is, to buy a scaleless head ball python from Mike Wilbanks for $50,000. Never seen it. So the last time I was at Tinley, by the way, Sean, Kim, Kim Paws, she came up to me and said, "Brian, be careful. Sean is really going to come at you."
We were standing right there when that happened.
So yeah, right. He rolls up he's in a wheelchair. So he rolls up to me yelling and screaming obscenities. I'm just walking, leave him alone, leave him alone. I found out after he had a gun on him.
What?
And he told Kim that he was going to try to get me to hit him and he was going to kill me at the show. So this is how off the deep end this guy has gotten. You know what I mean?
Nuts.
Like literally he and then he puts out the video of him and it makes him look like a complete
staged.
asshole. And like, of course you can hear Brian Potter in the background going, "Sean, shut up, dude. Stop it, man. Stop it." And he comes over to my booth. He's throwing shirts around. Take your fucking shirts and get out of here. All this stuff. I mean, the guy was just out of control. So, but my point is that like, I don't know what it was all about. I had never done anything. So anyway, so what happened was that night I was in the bar and this older guy, like probably in his early 60s, comes over and he goes, "Brian Barczyk," holds my hand out. And, I hold my hand, I shake his hand. He goes, "Thanks for making me lose $50,000. And I go, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, I invested in the Scaleless Head project and now it's garbage thanks to you." And I go, first off, and Sean really was bashing about the fact that he invested $50,000 in the market crash because it was somehow my fault. Number one, he was one that crashed the market.
Yeah.
Because at that Tinley show, remember, he had on his thing 20% less than Brian Barczyk. Was right on his thing. Yeah. Like it didn't matter what my price was, he was going to be 20% less. So he crashed the market. Number two, he didn't buy it from me. He bought it from Mike Wilbanks.
Oh man!
So why you mad at me? I didn't cost you $50,000. Mike Wilbanks cost you $50,000. I didn't tell you to spend the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so anyways, I didn't like to see anyone ever get hurt buying reptiles. For sure. But it happened. I got hurt. I spent a lot of it. I spent $70,000 on a viper ball. I proved out to not be genetic. You know what I mean? I had a $180,000 deal with a guy over in Europe that came from Emmanuel Noah in Africa that had super bamboos in it, bongos. All of them turned out to not be true. The super bamboos turned out to be lessers. And blue-eyed leucisticus at the time were $1,000. I paid $25,000 a piece for these super bamboos. $25,000. They were $1,000 snakes. So my point is that we've all lost money. Yeah. It's life goes on.
That's what happens when you're on the cutting edge.
I know the risk that I'm taking. And if I lose the money, then I lose the money. When you buy a stock and it goes down by 80%, you don't go and try to kill Steve Jobs. He's not, he's dead already, but you get my point. Elon Musk,
right?
Which that's
not dropping 80%.
Yeah. But Tesla's not bad. Although I love what Tesla did recently. I know I by the way, my podcasts go all over the place. I love what Tesla did. They beat the streets estimates, of the earnings, but you know how they did it? You know how they did it?
Bitcoin.
Yeah, Bitcoin.
Yep.
They
Isn't that
bought
crazy?
they bought Bitcoin, and
Love
because they bought Bitcoin went through the roof. Then they sold the Bitcoin to make a ton of money, so that they could beat the streets earnings report. So it was a brilliant move.
Brilliant.
You know,
Yeah.
brilliant
Smart.
move. I mean, Elon Musk is my hero. I
Yeah,
love that
straight up.
dude, man. But anyway, so it was funny how Sean had this guy that convinced that was his partner that I was somehow, the reason why he lost his money, even though they never spent a dime with me. And that was the
terrible.
thing. Sean hadn't spent money with me in probably 15 years, not $1. We did no business together. But I used to listen to hours and hours and hours of like him ramping, about all kinds of stuff. And then all of a sudden I became his enemy. Anyways, point is, I don't give a fuck about the beef. I don't care about Sean. I mean, I don't.
It's not worth the energy.
I mean, I can tell you, I'd love the beef to go away, but I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm not going to be his friend. I mean, you can't do the things that he did to me and then us become friends again. It's
Over
kind
and
of like
over and
that.
over again. Right?
It's kind of like that. It's kind of like who said that? What was the famous rapper that said, "Listen, I don't like you, but I still want you to eat, just not at my table."
Right.
You know what I mean? I want you to still eat, Sean. I want you to be fine. It's just not at my table. You know what I mean?
that.
So yeah. Anyways, what do you got?
Jay Lee came back, says, I just wanted to make sure that you got it, and the letter should be coming soon. Sending love from Maine.
Oh, thank you.
It was that, because I think it was from Maine, too.
Yeah,
So
I
think it
remember
was.
that. I remember that. Yep. And the letter came with it,
Yeah,
right?
the letter was in there.
Yeah, it was in there, yeah.
Tiffany, she says, palmetto
her.
eggs, question mark?
Oh my
Hope
gosh.
Jerica's name is on an egg.
Tiffany is so how does she know?
No,
How
honestly,
does she know?
did you do an IG story or
I
something?
did do an
Oh, you.
So I got palmetto corn snake eggs today.
That's awesome.
So I was super excited about that. We got a female palmetto corn from Desiree, and as a it was a fuzz eater. Raised it up, it bred for the first time this year, so it's laying. It was late. It looks like a big clutch too. She was still laying eggs this afternoon.
You got to put us on the list.
Oh, they're
I
so
love
cool.
palmettos.
Oh man,
Love 'em.
yeah. I tell you what.
Don't tell Matt Most.
Why is that? Matt
Was
hates
he?
them.
No.
Is he producing palmettos?
No, because Matt Most has been telling us to get into corn snakes. Like,
I don't necessarily want to get into all corn snakes, but I really love palmettos.
They're
Yeah.
sick, dude.
They are
They're
cool.
like they're like little cow retics.
No,
Yeah.
they're
Absolutely.
awesome.
Yeah, no, I
It's
think.
just funny.
Well, you guys have some cool colubrids. I mean, I'm jealous
We do.
of a bunch of your colubrids. Really, I mean,
You're
got
jealous
a bunch
of like.
Well, no, you guys. No, most of your colubrids are really cool, though. I mean, tell me what you guys are working with.
Well, we got pretty much every porphyracia.
Yep.
We have
wow, that's awesome.
a bunch of rhinos. We got some for you
Yep.
early on. Several species of file snakes.
Yeah, the files are the
Yeah,
ones.
no,
that
that's
are-
really
You're
awesome.
jealous.
That's-
But I love all the porphyracia too. So and I didn't realize you guys had all of them. That's
we're
impressive.
missing one. We're missing
Which one?
Cockseye.
We
Oh,
didn't.
well, the cocks are the
Yeah, they were
most
the-
common. Yeah,
yeah.
they're
Yeah.
$75. Yeah, so
Right.
And then we got mandarins. We have Japanese forest rats, one of the locales. So
Wow, that's awesome.
Japanese forest rats are real rare. They're cool.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's the Climacophora, or is that
the
what is
conspiculatas.
Conspiculatus, oh, the
Yeah.
twin spots, yeah,
Yeah.
twin spot, yeah, conspiculata. Those are cool. You're right. You don't see the conspiculata hardly ever. It's been a long time since
And
I've seen them.
almost nobody produces them. Like
There's
you
only
can't.
2 people in the U.S. producing them right now. We got an egg last year from a female. We're probably going to
here's a
produce.
conspiculata right
Oh, they're
here. Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, they're really good.
Really pretty.
Yeah, I wish they stayed that way as adults, but
Oh,
they're
what do they
Even
dull
as
out?
adults
Like,
are still.
they get
they're
more
still,
like this?
yeah, that's
Yeah,
more
that's
like an
still
adult,
very
but
pretty,
still
yeah.
very pretty snakes. Yeah, very pretty snakes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So we'll get a couple clutches of those this year for the
Oh,
first
that's
time.
awesome. I'll have to get some from you. Definitely put me down
Absolutely.
for a pair or two. Seriously, I
They,
want to get
they
some.
produce one egg.
Ah,
And it
What?
And
Well, last year one egg.
one egg. Sometimes they'll produce 2, but the egg
Oh,
is
that's good.
huge.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's cool.
When they're born, they can go a year without eating from birth, like
Oh my
or
gosh.
birth from hatching.
Yeah, from hatching. Wow.
Yeah.
That's badass.
That's cool.
It's
so
crazy.
So like you said, I think their colubrid colony is really awesome because it's very selective and it's really cool
Yeah, we
stuff.
tried to focus in on like rare, uncommon stuff that you can't
Yeah.
see. You know?
Yeah, and that makes sense. So porphyracia? Why don't you punch up
Yeah.
bamboo rat snakes?
Yeah, yeah.
Because you aren't going to spell porphyracia. I doubt it.
No.
Yeah, so bamboo rat snakes. People can get an idea what these things look like. So these are different species of bamboo rat snakes. I love them all. I mean, they're
so
all
pretty.
just so
Yeah, they're
beautiful.
great.
Yeah.
Me and Robin Markland, we always go back and forth, almost like not fist fighting or anything, but like he's like, Coxeye are the best. And I'm like, lattice cinctus are the best.
I
I'm like
think
a lattice cinctus guy.
lattice cinctus are really
They're
cool.
super red when they're born.
Yeah,
like,
they're beautiful.
They're
yeah.
awesome.
But I am the most jealous of your file snakes.
Yeah, I know.
Dude,
fact.
they
So
are the best.
So why
They're
don't you
super cool.
punch up Cape file snakes for me? I know you guys are working with a few different species, but the Cape file snakes are like. I literally might get a boner, so just don't keep the camera above the table.
Yeah,
No,
they're
look. Oh my god,
they're almost like those dragon snakes. I mean,
yeah,
very
they're-
similar.
Yeah, very similar.
Super
so.
heavily keeled scales. It's like
Yeah.
obviously it's a file snake. It's
Triangular body, you know.
Yeah, and they like don't they don't constrict, right? You know, so they're just
No,
like they're
they're-
really bizarre.
They're brutes, man. They just
Yeah.
grab onto you, thrash around. It's
Thrash,
like
yeah.
almost like a bar fight. It's really funny.
It was funny when I was in my buddy Ralph from Ultimate Exotics in South Africa in Durban, outside of Durban. I was down there and they produce a bunch of them. And he it was so funny because he goes, these things never bite. It just fucking rails them, man. Just like grabs them and won't let go for like 10 minutes, you know. And he's like, this is the first time I've ever been bitten by a file snake. And they kind of look like they could be rear fanged, right? You know,
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
a
almost
little
look
bit,
like
yeah.
that. Like, oh, I'm
agree.
like, are you sure that you're okay with this? You know, but because I didn't know much about him at the time. But that's when I fell in love with him, when I saw his, from babies all the way to adults.
And they get pretty big too.
Yeah, they're really cool. So I hope you guys produce because I want some
Oh my goodness,
babies.
we're trying so hard. We have a 1.3 of wild forest files, or the common file, I guess is what.
Yeah.
West African file.
Yeah, the West
African
Africans, yep.
And then we also have 1.3 of
The capes.
The capes,
They're
yeah.
CB.
Yeah,
CB. That's the deal. Yeah.
Yeah, from Warren. Yeah,
Yeah.
Warren's a good dude.
You got
man.
lucky on that one.
Yeah.
You guys beat me out
Yeah, he
by a
call-
fucking.
It's probably 2 weeks. That
I know.
Yeah, he called us just recently. We're like, hey man, like, what are you? Because obviously we're like, hey man, we could get more if you have any more.
Yeah.
He's like, oh man, everybody's getting them. And he goes, but by the way, I should have never sold those. And I was like, yeah, well.
But that's okay because I got the mole snakes, and he did.
Yeah.
I know that he secured me at least a trio of baby Cape files now.
Oh, nice.
And I told him to try to I'm like, get everyone you can get,
As many as you can get,
But
right?
but he's at least got me a trio that's going to come in at some point. But I love Warren; he's a great guy. He's a good
he's
dude.
real cool.
What else we got?
VDog says, wanted to give you a heads up. All your emails that I signed up for Reptile Army have been going to my junk mail.
Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah, we got to fix that.
Yeah, we'll fix that, VDog. I
I appreciate you letting
Thanks
us
for
know.
the heads up. I'll find out what's going on there. Of course, there's always going to be, growing pains with new things.
Always.
And so we'll get that sorted for sure.
Tiffany came back to say, also, can D-Sass get a birthday shout out, which is Dragon Sass Fly?
Dragon Sass
Dragon
Fly.
Sass Fly.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, we appreciate
A lot
you.
of birthdays this week, actually. My daughter's birthday happens to be tomorrow.
Happy
Oh,
birthday.
really?
Yeah, yep. She's the big 30. 3-0, man.
Oh,
Can you imagine
ancient.
that?
It's all downhill.
I don't think
know,
that was.
it's 30.
I don't think that was supposed to be Dragon Sass Fry.
Really? What do you think?
Dragon's ass fly?
Dragon's Ass Fly?
Dragon's
Oh,
ass.
it's probably Dragon's Ass Fly.
Dragon's ass.
Just want to make sure
fly.
that you got the right shout out.
Damn,
Dang.
that's so right.
So let's hit a couple other supers and we'll get going. on some
Our
other
boy
stuff.
Josh Fennellen says, so what's up with Lori kicking your butt at Sumo's for Reptiles, Brian? Danny
Oh.
Mendez brought it up on MJ's podcast.
It's funny. That's another guy that is obviously he leads the hate group on Facebook on me. He literally is the moderator
And he-
for things.
yeah.
And my
He also flipped like.
I heard
best friend and then not.
I've heard now that when he was on MJ, because MJ told me, he's like, I'm not letting him trash you, and supposedly he's now like,
he's
well,
behaving
Brian,
now?
yeah, well, Brian's not that bad, but you run my hate group, I mean, like, okay, but I think I always tell people, in all honesty, I have more respect for someone that would just be like, yeah, I hate that fucking guy,
Yeah.
to my face. But that never happens, right? It's always like, to
doesn't
my
really.
face, it's like, oh, you're my best friend, but behind my back, you're going to trash me. That's one of the reasons why it's hard for me to want to go to Tinley. But yeah, so hey, apparently Danny and me and Sean are going to get together and
Best
have
friends.
a little
I want to be
fondue
invited
party.
to the party.
Yeah, we'll have a
Yeah.
little fondue party
That'd
and
be
stuff
awesome.
like that. Well,
I like
Good old
it.
times.
I want to make sure I have something real pokey.
just in case,
I
and a
need
little
to
hot
stick it
liquids.
sticks in someone's eye. But no, that's good. Well, that's and by the way, okay, so let me
Yeah,
let
please
me
paint
first
this.
say we did a blow up sumo. This is the thing. Again, Sean and me,
remember.
great friends. Danny and me, great friends.
Yeah.
I never did anything to them to make them hate me. Like there was never like a point where I was like, well, I hate Brian because they were friends. and hate me. Like, I'm like, what happened?
Gradient shift, yeah.
Yeah, like it didn't make any sense. So obviously me and Danny used to do stuff at Tinley for promotion. One of the things we did was the sumo wrestling. So those big blew up sumo suits.
Yeah.
And we did this after the auction. It was a ton of fun.
Yeah, sounds great.
And Danny was the MC, and then I was kind of the person that just got the crowd riled up. So obviously Lori and I were gonna do the sumo. Well, first off, you can't win, right? You know what I
Not
mean?
against Lori, no.
like number one, she's going to win because she's going to pull my eyes out, you know. And number two, even if I did win, I would lose because what a dick would beat up his wife, you know.
Yeah.
But that being said, there was a time where it was myself, Lori, and my friend Aaron Jones, the photographer,
yeah.
and she literally grabbed Aaron by the hair and threw him down.
Oh, that,
Like, I mean, like grabbed him by the hair and
I
like
believe it.
he had scratches on his face and all kinds of stuff. I'm like, you just don't mess with Lori.
She's tough.
You know, so yes, Lori.
I've been
beat me
afraid
up.
of her before I got into the hobby.
Yeah, everyone should be afraid of her. But
she's-
and by the way, you'll
she's a
never
sweetheart.
see Sean talk bad about Lori or Danny talk
Yeah,
bad about
that's
Lori because she will
fine,
kill.
right?
She will beat their asses. As a matter of fact, Sean one time said something about Jade, and Lori lost her mind. Lost her mind.
Not
on
a
him.
smart move.
And then he apologized profusely for saying something. You know. But anyways, point is that yes, I did lose, and that's okay. I'm all right with that. I don't mind that I'm not this.
Dude.
I don't mind that I'm the tough guy in the relationship. I am definitely the beta to the alpha.
It is not the hill you want to die on.
No, there's other things I can do.
Solasaki says, "Hi everyone, love and 420 from the cloudy northwest."
Cloudy northwest.
It's cloudy out there
Yeah,
today,
it is.
Brian.
Yeah,
Oregon, right?
Oregon. Yep, Oregon. Yep, exactly.
Remember.
Clistia says, "Hello, Brian, Jay, and guest. I got my Reptile Army shirts yesterday. They are so amazing. Love you guys so much."
Thanks so much. You know, and again, you know, with our, you know, you guys have some sweet swag too. You know,
Yeah,
you got
I'm
Lord
not
Market
joking.
on. You got the, but you
The
guys
Sun
do a lot.
Gazer
You
one
guys
was
do.
dope.
You know, how many designs you guys have? Because I mean, this is like the fourth design that you've wore since you've been here.
6 or 7. Not,
Six or
not
seven.
a ton,
It's
no.
probably like 8,
They're nice though.
Oh yeah, we have a few.
including the order
Yeah.
designs. Yeah, we just basically our favorite animals. We put them on shirts.
Right.
Yeah, and
That's good.
Come
we
up
were
with
like,
ideas.
we had that sun gazing shirt that Ryan
Yeah.
was wearing the other day, and we're like, and I, you know me, I'm like a ton of ideas. I can produce 1,000 shirts right now.
Yeah.
But Ryan's like, we should really have, you know, shirts of things that we have
Yeah.
because
The first question is, "Oh, you guys got those?"
Yeah,
And
you
I'm
got
like,
sun
"Yeah, we
gazers.
really want to." But
Yeah.
nobody's
Yeah.
ready.
Dope.
Yeah, but this
Yeah.
makes a really cool shirt though.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, yeah.
like, that people
It is a
wanna wear.
tough one, you know, and that's kind of, I agree with you, you know, I mean, that's like with BHB, it was always like it had to be, you know, theme based around what we worked with. That's what's nice about Reptile Army is it doesn't have anything to do with,
Yeah.
it doesn't even have to do anything, as a matter of fact, most don't have anything to do with the Reptarium either.
Yeah.
You know, the Reptarium stuff will be different merch, you know, that'll be like just drops, like, you know, the drops we do sometimes.
Yeah,
now.
like vlog drops.
Yeah, vlog drops, but the Reptile Army can be anything. It can be a sun gazer or a earless monitor.
The
separate
earless
clothing
monitor
brand.
one was good. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
it was cool.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Always
so
have
it's
good ideas.
Yeah.
V Dog says, "Saw a small red lizard whose tail sprayed like sprinkler online. No details though. What is this? Have you ever heard of it?"
I don't
I
know.
saw that, but I don't know what it was.
Oh, you saw it online.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a gecko with a fatter tail that shoots
Yeah.
out like almost like spider webs or like goop.
What?
Is that what
Is
you're
it
talking
Australia?
about?
Yeah, it's definitely has to be what.
Wait,
it was
I'm
on
pretty-
Instagram.
I've seen
You gotta
that.
see this.
I
It
saw
was
that.
on Instagram like yesterday or the day before. I saw it.
Ooh, that's
You know
where
who-
it's goo.
It says shoot web from tail right there. That's probably it right there.
It's
Yeah,
these
that's
things.
it.
What are these?
Yeah, the third picture. Yeah,
Interesting.
there's a video.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's right. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
do
yeah,
the
yeah, I got
video
you.
Side.
That is crazy though.
So where are these guys from? It looks like a New
Yeah.
Zealand type of
Says they
animal.
won't hesitate to squirt a putrid, sticky liquid from their tails straight at any would-be predators.
Does it
jeweled
say-
eyed gecko.
Oh, Australia. Yeah.
Australia.
I thought it was Australia.
I would have said New Zealand, but yeah, Australia makes sense. Plus, everything kills you in Australia, right?
Of course,
Yep.
duh.
You know, so it's. Have you guys ever been? You've been to Australia? No,
We haven't.
Yeah.
It's on the list.
Yeah. What,
We were trying to
so-
go when you went. You took tours over there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yep.
And
I
we were
did
like, yeah,
take
we're
it.
gonna do it, and then it just faded
I
out
would
after
love
that.
to do that again. I mean, obviously, we all have to learn to travel again and stuff like that, you know, after this whole mess is over. But I wouldn't mind doing a couple more tours. Those were fun. You know, they really were. And Australia and South Africa are probably the best too because they're both pretty tame. They're exotic but tame in the same way.
Still a
you know?
little Americanized.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff,
You know, because you go to some places like Indonesia's difficult. You know, like Indonesia's for the hardcore. You know, I mean, when you get into like the crazy parts of Indonesia, that's not for people that are like, hey, I want to go and stay at the Hilton. But I want to go hunt, carpet pythons, but I want to stay at a Hilton at night and get breakfast in the morning. I mean, some of those,
even some places in Africa can get pretty sketchy.
Oh, lots of places. I almost died there the last time I was there. Yeah, so I mean, it was,
but good herping. Good herping.
It was great. Yeah, unfortunately, when we went, it wasn't good herping because although we did find a leopard tortoise, we found a little carpet chameleon. And we found a couple green vine snakes that were pretty cool. But that was down in Durban. But I have this like perfect timing where it seems like every time I get to the southern hemisphere, it's our summer and their winter.
Yeah.
It's like I seem to do that every like, oh, let's go down there, and I get down there and it's freaking cold, and you can't go herping. But if you go in the right time, it can be very, very good. But so I might do tours again.
I want to do Africa again. I've been to South Africa to like Cape Town though, like way down, and it wasn't for animals before we started our whole deal. And but I have some friends that do big game, like checking out the big game areas and stuff like that. So I've like few contacts.
Yeah, I mean, the big game's great. I'm Big Five in Africa. You got to see the Big Five. I mean,
absolutely.
You got to do that. But it's the western side is definitely different. It's when you can get away from Cape Town, Durban, Joburg, get out into the bush. That's the real beautiful parts. That's the parts that I enjoyed. We were gone for I think 27 days when I did Brian in the Wild, and we were like completely disconnected. I mean, just like
wow.
No TVs, hardly any internet ever. Every now and then you could check your emails maybe every 5 days.
That sounds amazing, but terrifying.
It was really. I tell people, and now again, you got to remember I'm much more connected now than I was then. Mm-hmm. So, and I remember it taking a couple days to decompress, but I've told people that it's shocking how quick you can adjust to not being around technology.
Yeah.
And I always said at the end of that, like 27, 28 days, whatever it was, we were in the bush. We ended up staying that one night in like a really nice hotel by the airport. And I was like, the whole crew that I was with was like, let's just get a nice hotel. Let's, because we've been staying in bush camps, sleeping on like terrible, like a cot, or a floor, stuff like that. And I was like, let's be a little opulent for the last night before we head back to the States. And I'll never forget this. We checked in. I went upstairs. I had my own room, and I checked in. I turned the TV on, and I swear to gosh, it had hurt my head. Like watching TV, like hurt.
Whoa.
It was like weird. It was like too much stimulus, right?
Sensory overload.
Yeah, it was like just watching TV. It was like it took.
Because you haven't done it for a few days.
Wow. In 27 days, I literally went to the point where like TV became a problem. And within an hour or so, I was back into like watching shows. But I just remember
really
turning it on, being like, "Oh my God, this is like it's bright. It's too much, like stimulus. I gotta, And it's interesting how quick you can adjust.
Damn, son.
Can we rail this in?